dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
Hello, peasants. Want to kill all human?
What's there, dude?
We'd like some money. Yeah, money. Money is cool. Onto a shame.
All right, everybody, it's the new year. First Toonular of the new year. Woo! Yeah, we are
Yay.
down. Nicole.
Come on, Ben.
Yeah, where's the energy?
Oh, listen, dude. I am a bundle of fucking energy tonight. You don't even know.
Yeah, look at us tonight. New year. We're doing something different. We're on Zoom today. Look at that. Hopefully, it sounds better. Restream better. Seems like it so far. So, look at that. New things, new year. We're finally figuring
Yeah,
it shit
30 seconds in, you've got it all figured out. I love it.
out. And
It's a perfect test.
What really makes me happy is like I finally have just a wall of shit. Like I've always missing one spot somewhere in like every episode we've ever done, because also my JoJo Lesbos poster fell down a while ago and I couldn't put it up. Now I finally have just a wall of shit. I love it. Like no blank spots. Makes me so happy.
yeah.
Is the Batarang new? Or
Yeah, well, it's like
What-
I've had it for a couple months. My mom got it for me. I was like,
Aw.
and it, like I'm not gonna go over there, but if I can press a button and it lights up too. It's the Batman Beyond one, so it's the cool futuristic one. Even better.
I'm trying to figure out what's different, what's new, what's
Well, actually, if you
what-
see on my Lesbos post, I'm gonna point it right there. See this Derek Whibley and Superman poster? I found these in my mom's house recently, and they're
Nice.
like, I haven't
Sweet.
seen that shit in like probably about 10 years, and I just found them, and I was like, holy shit! I can't believe this is still in great condition. I'm stealing it before it gets fucked up, and so I have that up there, and I found this old Jeff Hardy poster I had signed too, which is also pretty cool. Oh, and
cool.
I found this photo of me and Kurt Angle, which I actually don't know where I put it. It's somewhere, but went down some memory lanes the other day at my mom's house.
I know he's not what I'm about to say, but every time I hear, and I don't know why, and maybe they wrestled together, maybe I'm just old, and maybe I'm just ill-informed. Every time I hear Kurt Angle, initially my brain thinks Chris Benoit, and I don't know why.
I mean, they did wrestle a lot together. They were around the same time. Like they have a
Both very
history.
great technical
Yeah,
wrestlers.
both-
Did y'all
yeah.
just see Zach Amico's post with Chris Benoit and
No.
Jimmy Snuka?
And he called them, they're tag team the Lady Killers.
Zach and Nico, you are amazing.
Zing!
Either that or the Family Annihilators.
Ooh!
The Family Annihilators. God damn. Zach Mico. He also made a joke a while ago about I'm gonna butcher the bit, but it was when when Matthew Perry died. He was like, I guess he wasn't a good swimmer.
Which
Oh!
arguably very funny. Very, very funny. Depending on your day and your mood, right? Like,
Amika's got skills, dude.
He's the man. I love
What
Zach
a funny
Mico.
dude.
like Zach is my heart. I got a New Year's message from him, and
Oh, man.
I can't like. There's no spoilers, but I just want to say there is something coming up for him that is like it's one of those things where you see a friend of yours doing a thing that in the back of your head you're like, God damn, I wish that was me. But if it can't be me, then God bless it. I want it to be my friends, and I will live vicariously through this moment.
Hell yeah.
It's one of those things, and I cannot be prouder or happier for my friend. Like
And see, that's the best type of friend too. Like you're proud of your friend's accomplishments, and yeah, everybody's gonna be jealous because we want to be doing everything all the time. So of course we're going to be, but we can switch that up and turn it into, you know what? If it's not happening to me, it's happening to them. And fuck yeah for them. They deserve it.
I'm just going to sit and cheer. Like, I can't
Hell
wait
yeah.
until he makes the announcement. And as soon as he does, like, I'm going to let you guys know that this
I
is
can't
what I was
wait
talking
to see
about.
what it is.
And he's also
Yeah,
like
just-
one of the nicest dudes in the world. So,
Oh.
He seems like he would be.
To a point to where, again, he inspires you to want to do,
Yeah.
or he inspires you to root for him just
I
because
love
of
it.
how much he roots for everybody around him. Like,
Those are the best type of people.
he's
I mean, he
great.
did our podcast now like 2 years ago, but like in the middle of a field, just in a hot pit in the Mahoney, and hung out with us and just did it.
Arguably just for a ride to the Mahoney.
Mahoney.
Yeah, I'll sit down with you.
And still my favorite bit, too, which is on our Instagram. You can check it out.
Yeah, what God.
Leo was just like, and they blew this guy in the first.
And then he blew the guy. He blew a guy? What do you mean he blew a guy? So good.
But yeah,
Yeah.
man, New Year's, new totally Toonular. More changes will happen pretty soon, which would be cool. But man, New Year's was fun this year. But I mean, I didn't do anything too crazy. Just got really drunk with Chili Beans and Reeves and other friend of the show, Joey. So it was a good night. Wouldn't say anything. No one puked on me this year, so that's a plus.
Hey.
All I know is last year I got some rowdy fucking phone calls just after midnight in New York at like 11.
I don't even
And
remember.
this year I was, well, it was 11 my time, 12 your time. But yeah, I spent probably an hour on the phone with James and Joey at one point.
He
and
called you this
everybody
year?
was just, huh?
He called you this year?
No,
Oh.
last year.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't think I was that drunk. I don't remember that phone call at all.
No. I'm saying last year. This year I got no phone calls, and I was like, wow, like these guys really have grown up this year. They really, really have.
It's just more like, yeah, it's fucking, it's another year.
Dude, yes.
It's hard. I want to be excited for the following year. We'll see how this turns out. But hey, we're here. We're here live. Liz, how was your New Year's?
It was great. It was just mellow. This has been the first year in a few years that I haven't gone out. I just stayed at home and chilled. I was literally in bed and, done. Just like, this is chill. This is what I needed.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
in
seems like that
all
kind of New
honesty,
Year's.
though. Oh, did I mute myself? Fuck.
No, you're there.
Okay.
We hear you.
Whoops. I hit a button to come back to the screen. Anyway, in all honesty, isn't that sometimes like the best way is like when you punch that reset button on what's supposed to be like everybody's party night or whatever, and you just push the button. You're at home. You're chill in your jammies.
Well, I'm so
Mellow.
used to being, if I wasn't DJing, I was dancing, or I was going out to a show, or going to the goth club, and I had 5 fucking kids in my house for a week. I was just like, I was ready to pull every hair out of my head. So by New Year's Eve. So I was just like, you know what? It's all chill. We're good. I have the night to be like teenagers only in the house. So it was just like mellow as it could be. And I was good.
Did you watch the ball drop?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. And the fact that they're doing this broadcasting from Nashville now for CBS cracks me the fuck up. What? Who came up with that? Who did that?
Well, and if it's for CBS and they're doing it at midnight, right? Then it has to be a pre-recorded bit for when it's 11 o'clock here and they're like, New Year.
Right. So it's not even real.
No.
So, like, what's going on? And it was like, what, Jelly Roll? Or something. No offense to Jelly Roll. I think he's a cool
who is
dude, does a
Jelly
lot
Roll?
of good stuff for charity. But, like, what was that about?
Okay, it's I mean, the CMAs weren't too long ago around here. He was artist, like best new artist or whatever. And
Okay.
I think a large part of it has to do with their like riding that wave right now with him in
Okay.
popularity and all of that is what I would
Yeah,
think.
he was on AEW recently. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I've never heard
He
this
was
dude
at
named
the
Jelly
show
Roll.
Brandon and I were at when Punk came out.
He was on
For
Raw?
WWE. Yeah, and he was in the front, and they were like, "Oh no, Jelly Roll, Randy Orton." It's like, what are you doing?
I guess he's blowing up.
Why?
Yeah, I have no idea who the fuck this guy is, but I guess he's
He's
popular.
he's a country musician that's a rap musician, and
As well, yeah.
he seems like a really super dude. Like he seems like one of those people that does a lot. Like I know he is one of those people that does a lot, gives a lot back to the community. And I love his wife. His wife has a great podcast, but I can't get down with pop country at all. Even when it's on the hip hop twinge or whatever this is, I can't handle it. I'm too old for that shit.
The big thing with him is like he's been kicking around in the area for a long time, for like a long time, and he's kind of a rapper, and he was like in the underground scene down here, but he's got people in White House, which is just up the way
No
from us.
way.
Yeah. And I didn't know that much about him at all until I listened to a buddy of mine turned me on to it. I didn't know how I felt about it at first. Now I absolutely love it. I love it. Theo Von's show.
Brandon loves him.
I started getting way into it, and I there are things on that show that I may disagree with, I may not be into so much, whatever. But on the whole, I will say this: the man has a way of speaking.
Same.
put-
It just takes you over.
Putting things into words and coming up with stuff out of his head that you couldn't even believe.
And a
then when
mullet
he's-
that won't quit.
Oh, the mullet.
And then when he starts dropping those praise gods and Jesus is good, like it flows so naturally from him that you're like, okay, I can jive with what you're saying and how you choose to put this in these terms. He's funny. His brain doesn't work.
He's very funny. He lost me though recently with Jordan Peterson
Oh,
and all that shit. But it's like Brandon tries to put it in a way to make it tolerable, saying he'll have anybody on his show. Like
True.
it's not just one person with one opinion. Like everybody has a different opinion on that show. So it's all kinds of people. But I just don't like anybody giving hate a platform. So that's where he lost me. That
There-
said, Theo Von is fucking hilarious.
there's and he's doing a lot of good in Tennessee now too.
Yeah.
But there's an episode where Jelly Roll was on. That's where I was going. That's where I was trying
Yeah,
to get
we're-
to.
So
For
Jelly
me,
Roll.
I listened to the JP one, and I did not. I was like, I actually tuned out probably about like 30 minutes into it because I couldn't.
He's a horrible human being.
Degenerate.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Jelly Roll, and he talks about his people around here. He talks about the come up. He talks about, how it used to be just like slinging drugs in East Nasty and
Oh, wow.
all of that shit to start. And then, he moved out a little ways from the country or to the country. He's got people in White House, got people all around sort of this area. But the good that he's doing with like the local Walmarts and the toy drives and like matching.
They had one
these
here in
funds.
Hendersonville that was a Jelly Roll, and all kinds of trucks and shit were out there. And then they had that one in Antioch,
Yep.
He
But
does
he's
so much
he's
good.
matching a lot of that, which
Oh,
I find
wow.
to be quite commendable. Yeah. He's very much a money where your mouth is, but I think it's largely because he came from nothing. He came up
Bless
from
it.
balls. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Jelly
But
Roll's
his
a good
wife's
guy.
podcast is badass.
Yep.
So Jelly
Yep.
Roll, awesome. Music, not so awesome.
Is there
So-
a Jelly Roll like fandom thing in New York? Like, do
I-
people up there give a shit about that?
Like I said, I didn't even know who he was until he came on to wrestling. So then now, weirdly, I've just like since he appeared in wrestling, I've seen him since. Like it kind of like it's one of these things. He's been there in front of me this whole time. I just didn't notice. Like where have I been? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know anyone who's listening to Jelly Roll.
This is why I don't understand like pop culture, because you'll bring up like there's like three people that everybody actually knows. You know what I mean? And then everybody else that's on these things, it's like I'll ask folks and I'll be like, "Do you know who this is?" No idea. Do you know who that is? No idea. And it's not because we're old, because I'll also ask fucking youth. I'll ask the youth.
But they'll still
And
have
they don't
millions
know
of
why half
followers.
these people.
You know,
Huh?
and those same people will have millions of followers.
Bots. They all pay for their fucking followers. They're assholes.
Maybe so.
How do we get on some of those bots?
Yeah,
Well,
give me
I
some
heard-
bots.
I heard that's what like initially that's sort of what Kim K did.
You got bots?
Yep. I like a lot of these sort of influencery types that aren't generating it naturally, that kind of pop up out of nowhere and then start hitting your feed. Like they might have like a little bit of a funding, they might have like a producer or whatever.
Yeah, that makes
that's like
sense.
if you funnel your money into this, then you can get these bots that'll adjust the algorithm, that'll push you up somewhere else. And it might be a way to do it, but it's
Yeah, I mean, I guess you
Gross.
can do anything when you got money, right? Just throw it around.
yeah.
For sure.
But Ben, how was your New Year's? What'd you do? Was it exciting?
Man, I went to a buddy's house, got intoxicated. And then Jen brought us home. She got us back to the house, and then she crashed out a little early. And then I just sat up on the couch and was like just wide-eyed and hammered and watching TV, and like it was nice. I was probably up till like 1, 2, and then fucking crashed out until 10 the next morning. And then did laundromat stuff. I mean,
What'd you watch? Anything fun?
I can't even remember. I think I watched what we're watching the first time and then was like, I don't know what I saw. And then I think I put it on to try and be responsible as I went into the new year, and then that just sank. Sank way
I
down.
tried to watch. Now I remember me and Chili Beans are coming back drunk on the subway, and we just for literally the 30-minute subway we're on, we just kept saying "omelette du fromage" in like every like different type of way you can say it. There's like an acting term for it. I don't know, whatever it's called, but we were just saying it for literally 30 minutes to each other. So I was like, when I got back, I was like, I'm gonna watch Dexter, and it's not on fucking Max anymore.
Oh, what?
Isn't that fucked up? Just
That's
that got me
crazy.
so mad 'cause I was so hyped to watch that episode, and then it was like, doesn't
Omelette du
exist.
fromage.
Omelette du fromage.
We Oh, and I know what you're talking. I can't remember the technique though, but it's where you like have a conversation in like one or two
Yeah.
words, and you're focusing more on inflection
Yeah, yeah. We did
as
that for like
opposed to actual.
30 minutes of just saying I'm led due for much.
Jesus. But no, and then like since then, it's been I got a Christmas toy I put together that's
Oh
behind me.
yeah, I'd actually when you sent me photos of this and it looked huge. I mean the perspective's
It's-
kind of hard here. I can't really see how big it is.
Here,
It's-
well, do you want to see how big it is, James?
yeah.
Here, let me show you. Hang on. I'll show you how big it is.
But I
It's a
did.
As he
little,
winks. Oh no!
Oh, camera was going down. But I didn't think Ben was gonna finish it. He sent me a photo of it, and I was like, "There's no way you're gonna have it be ready by the time we record." But he did.
That's so beautiful.
I mean, it in comparison to me, do you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's
Like
huge,
it's
man.
it's
That's
huge.
massive. Like,
It's massive.
bigger than your head.
It's big. It's as big as my head. It's barely in front of it. It's my whole head. It's my whole face.
My favorite is when you showed me photos of it, of how many like little details are in that thing. Like
Dude.
you had to build a Lego engine. Like that was crazy to me that they got that much detail in there.
All right, and
How tiny would the pieces be for a Lego engine? like-
you know what? It's made up of a lot of the like little oneers, the little oneers that are in there. But it's also like it's detailing on a couple of things, right? Like you'll build the block out, sort of the basic shape, and then you'll add like what would normally be like a little fence inside of a set. You'll add some of those guys on there, right? Or you'll build out like a little for the front grille. They have all these little oneers that you start from one of the 2x2 corner pieces, you know? It's 2x2x, and then it's got the hinge on it. So you build out from that hinge. You add a couple on the bottom, you add a couple across the top, and then you just start stacking those oneers on. And once they all start to get together, like the shape of a grill takes place. Like it's
That's awesome.
one of my favorite things. Like I love Lego.
So
but
did you build it all in one set, like one go, or did you have to take breaks?
three different nights, basically.
Wow.
It was I would do like 4 hours, 4 hours, and 4. I think it took me 12 hours, if I remember right. But it's also like I'm watching TV, I'm fucking, doing laundry, stuff like that's happening as well. But anyway, it's like, I love it. I'll have to send you guys videos because it actually has a couple of tricks up its sleeve.
Oh.
Like when you roll it, the shit on the top spins around.
Oh yeah.
All the little doobobs and whatnot do their thing. There's a button, not even a button. It's like you push on one of the bottom blocks on one side, and it's the Ecto one from Afterlife. So it has the chair that spins out,
Oh, that's cool.
and like you push that button, and this chair shoots out the side, and it's like it spins around, and it's like ready to go to zap some ghosties.
Can you put
And
like
then on
little
the-
Ghostbusters
on-
in there?
Huh?
Can you put little Ghostbusters in there?
The minifigs would be way too small.
Ah.
So you would have to like build out a Lego person, but it is just the right size for like Super Sevens, like
Ah.
the 3.5-inch figures.
I'm pretty sure they
So-
got those too.
Oh, they
Ghostbusters.
may. But there's one more gimmick on it that is amazing.
Oh, what is it?
Pull the tailpipe, and then a trap door drops out, and a rolling ghost trap shoots out the back of it to go and catch ghosties.
Damn.
It-
This thing is intricate.
It's so gimmicked up, dude. And when you're putting it together, this is what's fucked about it. When you're putting it together, I had no idea any of those things would happen. No clue. And like when I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, tinkering around, and then I look through the last couple of pages, it's like, oh, pull on the tailpipe. And I was like, I don't know. And I pull on it and that thing shoots out the back. I was like, how did I build this and not know it? Or like,
You're just giggling like
when
a
this shit's-
child, like ha ha.
when this shit started spinning, I was like, I knew I put little motor pieces in there, but I thought I had to spin one on the top for it to do anything. I didn't know the wheels did it. Like a child, I was so happy. I was so happy.
Well, it's beautiful. Definitely, your hard work pays off.
Yeah, right. But all of that aside, as we sort of get into all of this, I have no good way. I mean, apparently the best segue was in our fucking stories tonight, and it comes from Liz being on Tinder. Like, that's the thing. She found some hot lady who's dipping her vagina into a pair of footwear and calls herself Puss in Boots on Tinder. I was shocked. I was shocked.
I was cracking up at that. New message from Shrek.
That is genuinely the last wish. I can't think of another wish that anybody could wish.
Right.
All right. Well, actually, I can think of people wishing for everything except for a vagina and footwear, except for like some people.
Well, we are talking Puss in Boots, the last wish today.
Right.
Fucking.
I am just going to continue to call it a vagina and footwear.
That's
just
fair.
so everybody knows.
Vagina and footwear, the last wish. This movie is great. So I do want to start with Liz. Last week you said you do not like DreamWorks, and you mentioned Shrek. So why don't you like DreamWorks or Shrek?
It's all just, it all seems super ridiculous and humor wise that I've seen. Like, I've seen Shrek, and I've seen Shrek 2. I've seen Kung Fu Panda. You know, I have kids, and all of it is just so goofy for the sake of being goofy. And the one thing, so my cat, one of my cats, my terrible cat, Cringer, looks like Puss in Boots. So, you know, my kids love that he looks like Puss in Boots, and they've loved that since they were little. And when that Last Wish came out, I was like, all right, I'll take y'all to go see it. You know, I was very reluctant to take them to go see it. So let's just go on $6 Family Day and, you know, check this out. And I was blown away with how fucking hilarious it was. And with Harvey Guillen in particular, like, as Perrito.
I was the same way. Like, I remember seeing the trailer, I think, for the first time. Or it might have been a poster. I remember seeing something about it for the first time and being like, why the fuck are they making a sequel to the first spin-off movie that nobody watched that came out
10 years later?
Yeah, like forever ago. And then I saw it came out around the same time as Avatar 2, and it had a higher rating than Avatar 2. And I was like, that, like, the fact I'm looking at Puss in Boots has a higher rating than Avatar 2 that took, like, you know, 10 years to make. I was like, I have to go see this movie. And luckily I had just free time. So I was like, fuck, I got an hour and a half to kill. This showing is playing at the perfect time.
Yeah, but have you seen Avatar 2, though?
I have seen it.
It's garbage.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Trash.
But the Puss in Boots was somehow amazing. I was like, like, this is one of those movies I watched. I was like, this should not be as good as it is. I mean, this is amazing. It doesn't even need Shrek. Like, this movie survives even just on its own.
No, it doesn't. And like, I remember the Shrek movies. I don't think I ever saw the first Puss in Boots movie.
Neither have I. Never seen it.
Yeah,
I have, unfortunately.
And I love Shrek.
How does it stand up?
Oh, it's Last Wish is head over heels better than the original Puss in Boots. Like, light years ahead in comedy.
Yeah, I feel like the first one just comes off as like literally a Shrek ripoff, in a way.
Yeah.
It's like a money grab. I'm sure that's all it was.
That's what I thought this was. I mean, I guess all movies are really money grabs, but that's why I looked at this movie and I was like, oh, there's just some other fucking. They ran out of ideas. They need to just make a Puss in Boots movie. But fuck, I was wrong.
No, and that's the thing. So I noticed a couple of things in this too that were less DreamWorksy than other things. It looks like they were dipping their toes in some of that 3D animation, like they were doing with Mutant Mayhem, where Mutant Mayhem like leaned into it way bigger than this. This had like some elements and some touches of that.
What I liked about the animation in this, and it's like think of it like what I think Turtles and like Spider-Verse did was like make a comic book make 3D look more like a comic book to have that feel.
Yeah.
This feels like a fairy tale book. They like made it feel like you're actually looking at this like, big picture fairy tale book.
They didn't go too ham with it.
Yeah.
Like they used it sort of sparingly and where it would have genuine kind of impact,
Yeah, and I watched the animation breakdown somewhere on YouTube, and it's pretty amazing when you watch it because it starts off as regular just storyboard. Somebody's just drawn, all the frames out to plan it, but then it's like a really like shitty like 3D render. Then it's like a partially 3D render, and then there's like a whole like there's like a one 3D render like a previs where they're just kind of blocks, just kind of moving, and then they do like the real 3D render where you actually see motion, how they're talking, and then there's like a whole like 8 other passes of just detail that they throw on top of it that gives it all that like texture and feel and all of it, and it's just like amazing. And
Now,
then it
had that
worked.
been done previously in DreamWorks films? Because anything that I have seen DreamWorks wise did not look like
No,
this.
and I listened to the director said something. I was watching some interview before too, and he was saying that like when the first Shrek came out, it was a big deal, and they were like, "Wow, look how like real they can make this stuff look." And then he had this thought of like, "Well, why? This is animation. Why are we constantly trying to make it look so real, where if we can do whatever we want? Why not make it like it's more stylistic and less real?" And I think that's why it looks amazing.
I'm always a fan of stylistic over
Yeah.
real.
So that's why
Yeah.
I love that movies are doing this now. Like I love this 2D, 3D shit that like is starting to take off. Between Spider-Verse, Turtles, this Arcane. This kind of like style that's going around. This is what I hope is the future of cartoons and animation.
Oh, it has to be.
Yeah.
Fuck. In all honesty, I hope there's a way that it what do you call it? It translates to live action. I would rather look like that than
That's like the new celebrity cosmetic surgeries.
that's the new cosmetic surgery. Yeah. We dip into for real like Rescue Rangers, Chippendale territory.
This I got that 3D surgery.
I mean, listen, if I could, I would. But so okay, and like another thing, and I know we'll start getting into story pretty heavy pretty soon, but apart from the animation, which was tremendous, right?
Yeah.
I really dig the story, and I dig the way that it
Yeah.
starts. I love the idea
And a
of
lot
a
of the
cat.
shit they like talk about in the beginning of that movie foreshadows like everything that comes out after. It's like it's nothing ever feels like it's being thrown at you. Because sometimes I feel like, especially with kids' movies, I don't know, I feel like they just kind of just like throw story at you. It just kind of happens, like for like the Mario movie, for instance. Like it's very paint by numbers. Like it just kind of goes through these beats, and I love this movie. Just sets it all up and then has payoffs for everything.
For everything, for literally
Yeah.
everything. And it's not it's sort of like they follow, I mean, they really pay attention to their story wheel, right?
Yeah,
They
literally,
really did to bring
This
it back to
this
that.
is story wheel for sure. Like they watched that same Dan Harmon video.
Uh-huh. and like so I just dig the idea too of a cat being on its last life.
Yeah.
We see number 8 happen, and then it's like, oh fuck, buddy, you're fucked. You're fucked. You're
Yeah.
on your last life. It's
That's
no good.
heavy. Death coming for a cat
Yeah.
for his 9th life. Wow.
Mhm.
That's
That's-
a lot for a children's movie.
Especially when you're Puss in Boots who laughs at death.
And
Yeah.
we keep saying it wrong. It's Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots.
Oh, gosh.
Puss and Boots. That I will say was the most like that was the creepiest thing when I watched this. I think 2 or 3 times now. One time doesn't count, so maybe 2. One time doesn't
It
count.
doesn't
at
count.
all. I don't know where I was when I did that. I'm just grateful Jen got me home to my couch. But he goes, every time he goes, Puss and Boots, I am Puss and Boots. It just sounds so creepy. And then everybody else says it the same way. It's like, what's your name? Puss and Boots. The alchemist or the doctor or whatever that he goes to see, right? And he even calls him that. He Puss and Boots. It's that hard push on Puss.
It's that Antonio Banderas accent. Gotta love that man.
I wonder how much of that is just him versus like, oh, I'm trying to do some character stuff right now. Bet that's just how Antonio Banderas talks.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was about to watch Desperado before we got on. I was like, oh, I don't got enough time.
Ooh.
I love Antonio Banderas. Growing up, like I watched The Mask of Zorro like probably like 100 times. Like I had it on VHS and I would not stop watch it literally every day. Like that movie, and it's still awesome. I watched it like a couple months ago and it still fucking kicks ass.
I'm an El Mariachi.
El Mariachi,
girl.
yeah. Yeah, that whole like Mexican trilogy is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Wasn't he in some horny movie with like Diane Lane?
That I don't know. Maybe.
I know he was. It had to have been him. It's like there's a weird sex thing in like an alleyway or something.
Ooh. I know he's in that weird Under the Skin or not Under the Skin, Skin something. He's in that weird almost body horror movie, and he's great in that too.
Well, he's exceptional in everything, but this is gonna kill me if I don't find this.
I feel the only thing I've seen him in recently, besides this, I can't. What movie did I watch? He was in a movie for like all of like 3 seconds that I watched, and then he like just dies. And
Isn't he also? He's also in that vampire movie.
Interview with Vampire. He's Armand.
Armand. That's right. Armand. Ooze.
My kids are half Mexican, so I try to speak Spanish when I can, but I just like redneck it up, and they find that hilarious.
Do you sound like Peggy Hill when you talk?
Very much so.
It's amazing. Let's see, he was in Philadelphia Mambo Kings, Interview with a Vampire, Desperado Assassins,
Hey, Spy Kids.
Mask of Zorro, 13th Warrior.
I fucking love Mask of Zorro.
Fuck, it's not in there. There's Original Sin. Maybe I'm just making up something.
Of some other hot Spanish guy.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you don't even know. You get me south of the U.S. border, they're all hot Spanish.
I mean,
guys.
talking about other hot Spanish people, I mean, Salma Hayek is also in this movie.
She's badass.
Yeah, man, she's incredible.
Her comedic timing with her voice acting even is just so badass.
And when I was, same interview I was talking about with the director, he was pointing out frames, and there's like a frame when they're escaping after they steal the map, and they're in that like wagon, whatever, that Perito was driving. And he like, when Puss Boots like drops all the change and he's just like, I am the legend, whatever his speech was. If you look at Salma Hayek's character, her eyes are rolling. Like she's like rolling her eyes at him. And the director said it was because that's just what Salma Hayek was doing when they were doing the voice acting for it. And they just like, so they like brought a lot of her own just like performance while she was voice acting into the character.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And it totally works. My dream tattoo that I haven't got yet is I desperately want Salma Hayek from Dusk Till Dawn as like a
with
tattoo.
The snake?
Yeah, with the snake. But I want her to have like the same hot like body, but give her like the demon face that she eventually turns into.
Nice.
I want that as a tattoo so bad. I still haven't got it. I don't know where to put it.
On your chest, dude.
I mean, that is a chest piece, James.
Hayek on my chest.
That is a chest piece. Yeah, I mean, Liz nailed it.
Put a connection in my head all of a sudden because I thought of Armand. If y'all watch What We Do in the Shadows, Harvey Guillen's character Guillermo in the show, he dresses up as Armand, like, because he's always wanted to be a vampire, and now he's like their a familiar, like
Yeah.
he's their person, their go-to buddy. Now he becomes something more now, but for the longest time he was like their human
Yeah.
person to go out and do stuff for them. And
Like Stu, right,
So-
from the first movie.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's dressed up like Armand
That's
in
great.
one of those photos.
Wow, yeah,
and
full
that's
circle.
his-
Full circle.
Yeah. I fucking love him.
Yeah, he was also recently, he was in that new Blue Beetle movie. And he's pretty good in
Yeah.
that movie, too.
I don't know how I felt about Blue Beetle. I'll be honest.
I actually really liked it. I actually thought it was going to be super generic, and I guess it kind of was, but I actually had a lot. Like, that was probably the only good movie I thought DC put out this year.
Oh wow, really? Okay, because I was hoping it would be good, but like it fell a little flat for me sometimes.
You like
you
the
know what I
grandma
mean?
with
Like
the
I don't know
Machine gun?
what.
The grandma with the machine gun?
Okay, again, it at times it had its moments. I did like his family. I liked his family coming in. I love the fact that they've all been doing this for a minute. Whatever. I get a kick out of some of it. I don't know. It just took a minute for me, and it was I don't know. Maybe it was a bad day. Maybe it was a bad day.
It was better than
James.
Aquaman, I can tell you that much, because I just saw that. And
Oh, does that suck balls?
oh, it sucks so balls. It's like, yeah, it just sucks a lot of balls. Like, everything about it just sucks.
I hate that so much. Like, I want to like Jason Momoa
Yeah, he
as
looks-
Aquaman so bad because he just seems like such a cool motherfucker. Like,
he's
he
such
seems like a cool dude to hang
and he
out
looks
with.
awesome. Like, he looks like a fucking superhero. But like,
Yeah.
and then now I'm going off track from Puss in Boots. But that movie is like tonally all over the place. Sometimes Jason Momoa wants to be like a Robert Downey Jr., Chris Pratt, where he's like cracking jokes. Other times he's like his voice is gravelly and he's trying to be like dark and serious, and just tonally it's just like all over the fucking place. And none of it's funny or like exciting in any way. It's just like visual noise for like 2 hours.
That's sad. Because I do agree. I every time I think about Jason Momoa as an Aquaman, I'm like, that's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's in your brain, it's good casting, right?
Yeah.
And then execution becomes the problem.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to watch it. This one.
Yeah, you
I
should've.
watched the first one, and I also can't get. I know we're totally sidetracking, but I also can't get over Patrick Wilson in some sort of like. Nobody needed Patrick Wilson in Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
James Wan.
No
Nobody
way.
needed
And
that.
It makes no sense story-wise, because in the first movie, he literally is committing genocide and kills a king in front of everybody. And then this movie, Jason Momoa was like, no, I'm going to break him out of jail. I need his help for whatever reason. And everyone's like, no, it's a bad idea. You try to commit genocide. He's like, he's fine. He's different now. We're brothers.
He's changed.
He's grown up.
Yeah. But I will say Patrick Wilson is the only person in both those movies who knows how to fucking act, or at least like knows how to like just do whatever, because he's the only person that sells anything in that movie. Like,
So
It's a shame.
yeah.
I also got to say this too. I wasn't a big fan of Jason Momoa in Dune either.
What?
I don't.
As Duncan?
I barely
Didn't he
remember him in
do?
Dune.
He did that weird little like wink and nod to the audience as he went in to fight that room, right? Like it's like, haha, look at me, here's what I'll do. Like that. There are elements of what he did that took me out of it. I
I can see that.
I wasn't I wasn't so hype on him as I was literally the rest of the cast and the rest of the movie. Just saying. He was
Yeah.
my low bar in that.
Oh, come on, Jason Momoa, step it up. Step it
Yeah,
up, man.
for real, right? Get back to Khal Drago. Say
Yeah.
2 words or speak things that nobody understands and just oil up something. motherfucker.
Oil up.
Oil
Get
up.
tan.
But yeah, Aquaman fucking blows. And you know what also blows? Fucking Zack Snyder's new movie also fucking sucks. Rebel Moon. I had this realization.
I've not seen it.
Zack Snyder's a hack. Aquaman fucking sucks. James Gunn is the only thing that's gonna save these movies. Because
James Gunn's my only hope for DC.
Yeah. Because they're like, oh, Zack Snyder's like, I'm gonna do my own thing now with Netflix. I don't got any rules or boundaries. whatever the fuck, and then it's still this piece of garbage, 2.5 hour boring
Dude.
movie.
Like I'm literally just waiting on that hard R Swamp Thing.
Well, hopefully, probably, I don't know, it's probably more like 2026.
Yeah, 2026, 2027. I'll be fucking 50 when it comes out. It'll be fine.
What was it on the tier of priorities when he was announcing?
Yeah, it's one of the it's one of the couple movies.
Should be God tier. That's what it should be.
Yeah, I'm pumped
What
for
it
it.
should
I'm a Saga of Swamp Thing person. I'm an
Ugh.
Alan Moore person.
So-
So that's hard to translate to film.
And we've like, I know Loki, we talked about
Yeah,
it
the
when,
whole Swamp
when we
Thing
talked about
episode.
Swamp Thing. And we really should talk about Puss in Boots, but I have to say this. Like, I have to. There is a story. The only thing that doesn't translate in it would be sort of how it wraps up. But that's when Swampy has to go to hell because of the cult that's skinning babies in the Moor Run. And like, it's him, it's Constantine. It is brutal horror. There's a raven flying around through hell with like an eyeball in its mouth or some shit that was like some punk rock girl at the beginning of the story. It is twisted and wild, and if done well, like, that story could kill. It's got everybody in it. It's got fucking Deadman, Spectre, like, it's got
And James Mann is kind of a twisted, wild personality, so I mean, it could work.
it would be unreal if done right.
If done correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. If done respectfully and if done correctly with that content.
But so far,
For
James
sure.
Gunn is like, for whatever how many movies he's made because he's the fucking.
Yeah, don't
king.
jinx him, dude.
Yeah.
Knock on some shit. Like, I'm
Because
hitting
his Superman
wood
movie is
for
shaping
you.
up to be pretty awesome. I mean, I love, at least just from the casting. It gets me
But-
really excited.
I mean, the only way it could get any better is if we were able to go back in time and recast Jason Momoa with Antonio Banderas.
Banderas,
and he's-
yes, because that's my Aquaman. It's actually a funny story too about him. In film school, I was talking to my screenwriting teacher about how much I love The Mask of Zorro. And then my teacher was like, bro, I fucking love that movie too. He was like, that's the best Batman movie I've ever seen in my life. And then we went through this whole like breaking it down as like a Batman movie. It's amazing. Love that movie.
I've never in my life thought of
Yeah.
it that way, but that is
Right? Yeah.
exceptional.
Right? Look at it as like a Batman movie and it's fucking kicks ass. Mask of Zorro. Everyone should go watch that movie. But also this movie, Puss in Boots, because like I said, I love this
Goose
movie.
and Boots.
Hoots.
So we start off in the movie, right? He has this big house party going on with all the villagers, and then that's when the actual guy who owns it comes in. And was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Welcome to like a like what was it? Whatever. He says something like Sukasa. He's like Sukasa, mi casa."
Su casa es mi casa.
Yeah.
Your house is my house.
And then like I love when he's like Puss in Boots' entrance is great because it's like the guy is just like what do you do with my hair, my clothes, my portrait? And then Puss in Boots jumps down and just rips the portrait in half like really slowly.
Oh. And again, so here's a moment where like they're playing into that whole like cat trope of like jumping on your thing and then shredding it
Trying
all the way
it,
down.
yeah.
They make him so cat-like throughout all of this, and I love it. It's not like they try to really humanize or personify to the degree you forget that he's a cat. It's like they don't shove that he's a cat down your throat.
Yeah.
There's just enough kitty
It reminds me of
mannerism.
there's like a certain scene after he has like their funeral for before he goes to live with the crazy cat lady. He has like the funeral for his stuff, and then as he's burying it, he's like kicking the dirt like as if he was like kicking like litter. You know what I mean? Like the shot was from behind him, and he was just kicking it with his back paws, like pushing it.
I love it. I love it.
Makes you think twice too, like me as a cat owner, when he's, burying his humanity, he's
Oh.
getting rid of it to go into this
To be a cat.
cat house. This crazy cat lady
Well,
that-
before we
Go
get,
into
who
hiding.
renames him Which I love. That's totally me.
Before we get to the crazy cat lady, I love like how he gets set up for it, right? So I mean, he fucks. The opening shows how much of a kind of daring asshole that he is, and then like he slowly saves the day. He does the Spanish. He wakes up the giant, then does like the Spanish splinter to the giant and takes him out, and then he dies. Then he goes to the doctor, and the doctor gives him that whole speech where he's like, he's like, how many lives do you think you've lost? He's like, I don't know, maybe 4. And then they recount like all his like.
No, that's backwards. They recount them all for him, and he goes, "How many do you think you've lost?" Yeah, it's like what? Like 4? That's 8, motherfucker. 8.
My favorite is the one where he's just jacked. He's like, I don't need a spotter. I'm fucking ripped.
So that's the other thing though. When he's fighting that giant, first off, amazing creature design.
Yeah.
All right, like I'm sorry, loved that. But that Spanish splinter thing, like, how fucking funny is that? Like, you get a splinter up under your fingernail, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I would wish I was
And
dead.
it's like the epicness that he takes to do it. You know, he's like flying through the air, doing all this crazy shit, flipping in the air, comes straight down, and it's like bing, right in the fingernail.
Like, yeah, wakes up at the doctor. I liked the doctor. I don't know who voiced him. I liked it though. I thought that
I
was
did
fun. And then from there, he's back out on the road. He's living that last life. When he comes face to face, right with the big bad wolf, what puts him?
El Lobo.
What puts him there? He's just out drinking, right?
Yeah, he's
like
just
drowning
drinking.
his sorrows.
Yeah, he asks the bartender to get him a heavier cream. And the guy's like, I keep the heavy stuff in the back. I love the entrance, man. The El Lobo, the wolf, is like the coolest villain ever. Like, he's so dope.
I was freaked out.
The whistle?
The eyes.
Yeah.
What are those things called?
I don't know.
Are they scythes? Those little.
So
I think they are. No, sickle. That's the
Sickles.
sickle.
I
Okay.
was I don't know if have you guys ever seen this show? It was on Spike TV back in the day called Deadliest Warrior.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right, they put the 2 warriors, whatever, throughout history against each other. And for some reason, me and Chili Beans were watching it, like not too long ago. And they had this like African tribe on there, and they had swords just like that. And like the brutality of those things, man. Like they showed how it can like decapitate a person. So how it just like hooks under the neck, and since it's all sharp, it just slides like the way they described it was like surgical precision. Just straight decapitation.
Just jink.
Yeah. So that's-
Absolutely believe it. And then to be wielding like 2 of them.
yeah.
But that is like that's the other thing that's super fucking creepy to me with the wolf is like he comes in and it's like he sits, I've been looking for you for a long time. He's like, can I get your autograph? And then when he pulls out that wanted poster and he goes, you can sign right here. And he just starts tapping the word dead. Like,
And you remember they set up too in the beginning where he talks to the rich governor and he's like, no blade has ever touched me at all. And then that scene, like he gets that first cut on his face and they have like literal blood like coming down on his forehead. And he's just like you see the hairs go up on him. He's like having like his first like real like panic attack. It's
bro,
intense.
I just got chills again
Yeah.
because that's what it did to me.
Yeah.
That fight is awesome. All right. Their initial tete-a-tete or whatever is
And it's like the perfect way to like just tear down your hero. You know what I mean? Like you see him before that, and he's at the top of his game, ahead of everyone. You know, everybody's partying. You know, being the king, and then that one scene just like destroys him like physically and mentally immediately, and just makes him go to the cat lady.
What?
Yeah.
One drop of blood, and then like you said, when that fur pops up. And it's like you notice the animation before then, especially like in the fight. You see a lot of what's going on where they're mixing up a few things and we're breaking sort of that DreamWorks kind of standard that had been established before. I really like when it all goes like red and they're in like silhouette, and just like the wolf
becomes
sides
like a
are red.
cartoon.
I love that shit. Like that's That is shit that I can get into.
And it makes
I like it.
the fight scenes, the action also feel a lot more intense. You know, when the characters are moving like normal, like on ones, it's called, when they're just moving regular. But then when it goes to like moving on twos, where it's skipping that frame, there's
Yep.
like just this extra jitteriness that like makes it intense. Like that almost feels like it's going faster at you in a way.
It
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
so broken at some points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it is because it puts you off. But anyway, in that fight, when the hair comes up, like I loved that. I loved it. Come and get it. Like, come and get it. What?
Yeah, they seem like kick his sword back at him.
Oh, he wouldn't. No, he keeps tapping it. It stays in front of him. He doesn't necessarily give Puss his sword back. His sword's kind of in this almost half-ass no man's land, like
Yeah.
a little bit in front of him. Puss, though, and we'll fast forward to the end in the second match, kicks this motherfucker's tool back to him,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
is like, "Nah,
Instead,
you
everything
pick
always
it up.
fucking
Yeah.
comes back full circle in this shit.
Oh, pick it up." That's what he says. Not come and get it. Pick it up. What? That's brutal.
But then
Brutal.
he runs away, and then that's when he becomes the crazy cat lady. And
I never smell. Yeah, the guy's like, I smell fear. Ah, they call him a scaredy cat. Oh, what a.
And it's like I said, Puss in Boots is the guy who laughs at death. So just to like take that all the way from that character, just like now you have this whole story, this redemption arc that just feels so epic, and it feels like he's learning something.
He is a shell. A shell.
It's
But-
what I feel like is a problem with a lot of superhero movies too, where it's like they don't like take the character down that much of a notch, or like they don't feel like they've learned something that much, like this movie, you know?
Right. It's like one good ass whooping and then that's it. Or if even that.
Yeah. But he's like,
if even that.
yeah.
You know, this is, what is it? This is a complete ego death for him.
literally, like he has to sacrifice everything. Like he gets rid of it all, and then grows the beard.
The beard is priceless. The beard is precious too.
Now, okay, and this is where Liz as a cat person yourself. I have two, right? We have two in this house. So when he is learning how to be a cat, like what hit you the most in that? Like what hit you the most?
Him like having to use the litter box when she's like, "No, that's not where you go to the bathroom. You go there," and they're all in the line to use the litter box.
He was like, "This is where
It
dignity
fucking kills
dies."
me.
How degrading.
This is
And
where
they're just
dignity
pouring
dies.
out their food, and here they come, you know, and it's you flip that on the other side, and like Luna, Mother Luna, is that her name?
I
Like
think so.
Mama Luna, she's thinking, you know, she's doing really good things, which she is. You know, she's providing a home and she's providing food for these cats, and you don't realize, like, wow, you took them out of their habitat. Like cats are wild, cats are predators, and
Yep.
Now
it
they're
really
all
makes
fat
you
and
rethink.
lazy.
You know,
When they
Tony
all,
Hawk.
when they all start coming to the food, particularly when she's pouring it, and it's almost like this cult showing up
Yeah.
of the cats as they're like food, and they all just go headed towards it. I was like, that is like ours have a tendency to be a little more. They're both still a little feral, except I mean, Wishbone is 18 right now. He's
Wishbone.
18-year-old cat. Yeah, he's an old
Oh, yeah, I
man.
mean, you let your cats, they run outside, right? I mean, she kind of
With
runs.
the
yeah.
Wishbone doesn't go out as much anymore. Like during spring and summer when it's nice and warm, he'll go out on the deck in sun, but he comes back in quickly.
What's the other kitty's name?
Anda,
Oh,
and she goes and like literally, Jen will get up to go to work, and it'll be like 5 o'clock as Jen's heading out the door, and this cat goes out at like the coldest part in the morning and doesn't come back in until like 9. Yeah.
Wow.
But she'll also like leave in the afternoon and not come back in until dinner time. Like, but she knows to cry at the door. She'll jump on the window sometimes. She tells me when she wants to be back inside. And I let her. It's fine. I don't need to keep her in. She'll go to the door when she wants to go out. She's like fucking dog that way. Like she'll tell you what she wants. And I love it. Thank you. Good. No guessing. No guessing. But yeah, I love that the litter box thing. But the food is the one. It's because I've seen cats like that where you pour the bowl and then it's just like it's this weird like sort of zombie walk to it. It's like now is the time.
That was a
is the
food
thing.
time.
So creepy.
But it's like if I saw my cat pissing in the toilet, standing up, and then frying whatever he was frying, I'd be like, "What the fuck? Keep doing that! Like,
Me too.
Make me dinner."
Yeah.
Save me some cat litter, some money on
Yeah.
cat litter.
So, and James, were you as a kid? Did your folks ever watch like the 10 o'clock news or whatever?
Probably. They watched a lot of news.
Okay, well, no. The reason why I ask, so locally, at least locally, I'm sure it's a thing, but they would always have like that package, that feel good story at the end of the newscast to make you feel better about life. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They've just told you everybody who's done all the crack in the world. And
Yeah.
They've already told you your streets are unsafe. You know, people are trying to shoot the president. All of this stuff. You know, and some sports.
And the weather.
Yeah, and the weather. I used to tell people about the news in Memphis when I lived there. I was like, yeah, it's all just murder, crack rock, murder, weather, murder, crack rock, sports. Sometimes that's murder and crack rock. And then it was like murder, crack rock, and then the feel good thing where, you know, a cat learns how to use a toilet.
That is Memphis, though.
It is.
In a nutshell.
And
So-
Elvis.
But,
Murder,
yeah,
crack, Elvis, gangs, Elvis. And a feel good story.
and the feel good story at the end. But I remember one where it's like a cat learned how to use a toilet, and then it had to have been Channel 4. Like Dimitri Kaladimos fucking told me. And tonight,
The best reporter that ever was in the Nashville
Yep,
history.
100%.
That was done dirty.
That story is crazy. That's a whole other thing we should talk offline about because you're 100% right.
So
But
this
like,
cat used the toilet?
yeah, there would, and I remember it vividly. And lastly, tonight here we have this sent in to us by a viewer and such, and it was their cat on the toilet, just being a cat, taking a dump, and then like hitting the flusher.
There's something you can buy to try to train your cat to use the toilet. My cats are idiots. I would
No.
never.
My cat
Yeah,
would
they
look at-
drown.
My cat would look at me like I had done it dirty. Like for all this time you made me shit on this stuff, and now you're trying to teach me where to shit now.
It's like, no.
No. Not gonna happen. I'll shit in your boots before I'll shit in that. But okay. Pardon me, friends. I got a little lost in here, but again, each time I watch this, I always have a bad habit of doing other things while I watch things. It's hard for me to just like knuckle up and sit down and not do house stuff while I'm doing this stuff, right? So the Goldilocks and the Three Bears come into this. They are like what,
Yeah.
bounty hunters as well?
They're like a crime family.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Why again are they looking for Puss?
So they were gonna hire Puss to go steal the map.
So they
it.
could get the star.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And that is a point in each time I watch this that I missed. And it fucks me up
Because
because
that's how Puss finds out about the map when he's hiding behind the tree. Because they're talking about, oh, you were gonna hire this cat. Now I guess we have to go do it ourselves or whatever.
Yep. Okay. Very good.
Because that's how Salma Hayek gets in, because she says, too, like a little bit later, they try to hire her, and she betrayed them to go steal a map.
What's her name? Kitty Southpaws?
A soft pause.
Kitty soft
Paws.
paws.
Soft Paws. I thought Southpaws. Whatever. Whatever. Like, again, tremendous character. A tremendous character overall. And I would like to see her recording that voice versus what ends up in the movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because if they're saying in the animation thing that you watched, when she rolls her eyes, that Selma Hayek was doing that in the booth, like I want to see that shot versus her as she's doing the line.
That'd be sick. Yeah, I mean, you can watch some of it. I found some BTS on YouTube of the actors like acting out their lines. It's pretty funny. It's pretty cool.
Because that's
Antonio
the thing
Banderas goes deep. That guy is like, he's like taking his glasses off as he's saying lines. He's like moving, getting like intense, and it's pretty amazing to
he's
watch.
like, my name is Puss.
Yeah. Exactly.
But when he buries himself, and it's that whole ego death before he goes into, I know we talked a little bit about it, but that's like a heavy ass moment. You know,
Yeah.
it's raining.
Yeah.
It's raining out, and he's delivering his own eulogy to only himself. We're not going to say anything, but wait a minute. If we did say something, it would sound something like this. I don't know. That I thought was acceptable. That was the thing that kind of fucked with me. That was Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I got a little confused. I love that they're Australian as fuck.
No, they're British. They're all British actors.
They're all British actors.
Oh,
Florence Pugh is
Yeah.
very, very British.
Florence Pugh.
I thought they were
what a
Australian. They sound very Australian.
Well, it's very chewed. It's very like Cockney
Okay.
British.
career. To me, they sound like they were like a Guy Ritchie movie as like bear characters. That's what I
Got
always
it.
took from it.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears and Snatch 3.
Yeah, exactly. They literally felt
Yeah.
like they could be in Snatch. But
That
Florence
would be
Pugh,
great.
man, what a career this person has. Because she's like, like she's done Oppenheimer, this movie. Because she does Marvel movies. She's done indie movies. It's like, and she just keeps doing all these different tier kind of movies constantly. It's like, I don't know, it's such a like interesting career for an actor. I love it because she's popping up literally everywhere.
She seems to choose roles for herself.
Yeah.
Too. Like she's not going after what's popular. She's going after things that she can really dig into.
Yeah, like this movie.
And I love
like,
that.
She had no reason to be in this movie. You know what I mean? Like the movie, she helps the movie, but the movie doesn't help her in any way. You know, besides the
Right.
paycheck. You know, but you know, she doesn't need that movie at all. This movie, I mean, Puss
That's
in
where
Boots.
I know her from. Midsummer. Okay.
Yeah, same. Like, got Midsummer, then you got Oppenheimer, then you got she did a wrestling movie. Yeah, then the Puss in Boots. It's fucking. She's everywhere. And Marvel, she's fucking Black Widow's sister.
Yep.
So she's. I don't know. This chick is everywhere. It blows my mind. And she's young. I think she's only like 26, 27, something like that.
See, I hear that, and then I'm like, what did I do with my life? What did I do with my life?
We're not drop dead gorgeous British
Yeah.
women. We
Put
can
your
do
soul
it.
anywhere.
You talk for yourself. Like
You just
Some
rip
of us-
off the Scooby mask and you're like this British woman. You're
You've
like
been
Princess
Florence
Diana.
Pugh this whole time.
this has been my greatest role.
Princess
This has
Diana
been
did
my
never
greatest
died.
role.
She's been on Totally Toonular this whole time.
But I did. I enjoyed him. My brain placed him as Australian. It's a Britishy accent.
Yeah, it's a British. But before we get to the bears, too, we meet Perito first.
Oh, Perito.
The dog.
He's my
pretending-
favorite part.
Yeah,
He's
that-
my favorite character in this.
The dog pretending to be a cat. That everyone also
He's-
knows he's a dog at the same time.
So, Brandon is a very optimistically naive personality. Like he just has it. And just the things that Perito would say and his outlook on things throughout the whole film, I'm like, oh, that's Brandon. I just love it so much.
He's just so happy
Okay.
all the time.
So Liz, you met him when we screened back in August. Perito did a thing that reminded me so much of Derek early on. All right?
Derek.
James, do you know what I'm going to say?
No, I don't know what you're gonna say, but
Here's what reminded me so much of Derek. When he was like, you having a bad day? You want to rub my tummy? Everybody says rubbing my tummy makes me feel better. You want to rub my tummy? And then he pops his little belly out. And I was just like, not only did it sound like a thing that Derek would say, but he looked like Derek in that moment with that little like pop. James has a picture of Derek's tummy on his fridge.
I do.
And it is the funniest fucking thing. But it's just when he popped his little belly out and he's like, rub my tummy.
Didn't he take his pictures with his tummy out too?
Yeah,
When we did pictures?
He may have been in his crop top. I can't remember, but yeah.
I love Derek.
He makes me
Derek.
happy.
he was almost here today, but couldn't make it.
Oh no.
Apparently, he
Yeah.
parked on an island or something last night. I don't know the full story.
He did what on an island?
I don't know. Like I was like, "You coming out today?" He's like, "Yeah, sorry, man. I kind of parked on an island last night," and then sends me a photo of his like car, like literally like in between. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like one of those curbs, but they're like an island, a peninsula kind of curb, you know. And his car was just like over it with a thing like in the middle between the wheels.
Oh my god.
How did he get there? Does anybody know?
He just told me he tried to make a left turn and then left his car there.
Just trying to make a left turn.
I love him in so many ways. I
He's
love
so
him.
cool.
He's
He's so sweet.
sweet, cool. Also, like the world's biggest train wreck in so many ways. But much like Perito, he's a person you want to keep around.
He's got that heart
a
of
guy
gold.
Yeah.
you need in your team friendship or whatever.
There's
team
so few
friendship.
people or so few characters even that are written to have that just so it's optimism that's naive, but it's pure. You know, it's 100% pure. And when you know people like that, you love Perito that much more.
You know what I mean? Like that. Yes. So that was the thing that also hit me so hard with him is it's right when I guess when they're sort of first getting on the road together, and he starts talking. He's like, "Oh, let me tell you, I ain't got no family, but I got you as my friends." And he's talking to him and all of this stuff. Never had no friends before. And what's her name? Softpaws. She's like, I don't trust a word of what you just said. I don't trust you. That's a very dog thing to say. I don't trust it. And then what's his name is trying to steal the map from her. Puss is trying to take the map from her at the time. But you, I trust even less. Like,
But it is a
When
dog
she's
thing.
asking him like what his name or they're asking him what his name is, I've fucking died.
I think one of them was
And,
like
and he
dipshit.
comes back with all that stuff and like
I've
you
been
feel
called
so
dummy,
bad and he's just
stupid.
dead ass serious too.
sometimes they call me dummy, stupid. Like, get away from that. Don't touch it. You know. Yeah. And he's
They
going
bleep him.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
called him like dipshit at one point.
Shit for brains
Yeah,
or
shit
something
for
like
for
that.
brains. When they start bleeping it though, that also tickled me because there's another scene later on where he's with Goldilocks and the three bears and
Yeah.
they do the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
And
I
he's
want to
like,
hear
"We're
that
just-
outtake.
We're just farting and what is it? He says we're just pooping and farting
Farting.
and like just going off on the most random things. Yeah, Perito is a standout.
Especially
for me.
when we get his backstory, where they're like, "Oh yeah, this is how I got this sweater," and he said
Oh
he
my
played the game with all
gosh.
those other pups. Like, yeah, they would always go away, and we play hide and seek, and I was always it, but I'd always find them until one day, they put me in this sock with a rock in it and left me at the river. But I got out. Now I got this nice sweater.
When he says that moment where he says, but it's a win-win because I got this nice sweater from it, and I've got two friends now or whatever. I was like, that's Brandon. Because that is literally some shit that would come out of his mouth in like the worst situation like possible. He would literally just see the good.
The sock and a rock is some grungy county shit, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, it is. Big time.
But hey, man, it's all good. I got this neat sweater. Y'all are friends now. Titties.
It's good. Life is great. Titties.
Now we do have to talk
It's the
about
best.
also fucking John Mulaney as Jack Horn.
Oh.
What a great
Ooh.
villain. Just unapologetic, horrible person. And of all these like redeemable people in this movie that are trying to make themselves better, he's just the epitome of not doing that. And he's also like, to me, he's also so earnest about it. Like there's so many lines in this where he talks about doing evil shit, but he says this almost in a Perito way where he's like, or just in a way that feels earnest, that he's like, he's the hero of all of this. And I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every good villain is the hero of their own story.
Yeah, and I think this really personifies that, like,
Yeah.
to a T.
100. But yeah, little Jack Horner, man. Like, not only hard to look at, like at certain points, like the character design was just gross to
Have
look
you guys
at.
ever heard of this nursery rhyme before?
Yeah, little Jack
Yeah.
Horner sat
I
in
didn't
the
no idea
corner
what it was. I had to
eating a figgy pie, right? Stuck in his
Yeah.
thumb,
Stuck
pulled
in
out
his
a
thumb,
plum.
pulled out a plum, and
What a good boy am I?
I don't remember. Yeah, I'd never heard it before. But I love when they do the backstory and he like does this thing and they're like, "Oh look, the puppet's being a real boy," and he's like, "I've been a real boy my whole life."
mm-hmm.
Real boy my whole life. I dude, and again, so like I think we talked about it when we talked about Shrek some. I got mad respect for the way they take old fairy tales and kind of breathe a little bit of new life into
Yeah.
them.
I mean, talk about the Three Bears. I love my Guy Ritchie Three Bears. Like, amazing.
But I mean, even from that, it brings them back into, I guess, sort of like popular opinion. So it's like these old stories that you think are eventually gonna like die out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might tweak what Mother Goose and Grimm or the Hans Christian Andersens of our day fucking initially wrote, but at the same time it still gives those old stories voice.
Yeah. Like
And
Yeah.
nuance.
and that's really important. Like it's really important not
mean,
to lose
That's
character.
to say that's the same thing like going on with Steamboat Willie right now, with that entering public domain, to be able to give that kind of character a new voice.
I have seen so many like weird, horny Steamboat
that's
Willie
what's-
things.
When you said that, I was just like, wow, I've seen so many terrible things Steamboat
least-
Willie
at least people got
portraying
the
that
voice.
I'd never wanted to see in my lifetime within the past
So
2
happy
days.
about it. I'm so
It's
happy
like we
about
give
it.
the people this power to like create something even different and magical, and then it's just always porn or a slasher
It's
movie.
like him with a dick or
Or
something.
did you guys see the one where he was doing 9/11 yet?
No.
No.
It's Steamboat Willie flying into the World Trade Center.
Wow. How did they like? What is this slasher? Like this just like they knew,
Yeah, they
like
must-
they
I mean,
knew it was gonna become.
Yeah, it was pretty public knowledge
property?
for a while.
It was announced in what is it? October or November. It was either right after or before the writer's strike. Probably right.
I think it was
after.
before. I mean, if you looked it up, I mean, you could see where it was going to end. If anyone would follow it. If you looked up, because you can look up copyrights on the internet all the time, and you can see where
Yeah.
it was going to kind of go up.
The one that got me though, so I fucking him doing 9/11, but it's the same thing that happened with Winnie the Pooh and Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
Blood and Honey, either somebody was sitting on that script or they just fucking wrote it immediately, like when it was announced, oh yeah, by the way, this copyright's going away.
Now, this movie had it been made before, because they dropped the trailer like the day of like New Year's. Like,
Oh, they
full
already have a trailer
Yeah,
out
yeah.
for it. I thought it was like a thing they were starting to fund.
No, there was
Okay.
also another poster I saw for another Steamboat Willie horror movie that's trying to get funding. But there's like a full
Wait.
trailer out right now of a movie that was definitely shot a while ago, and they were holding on to it and waiting to announce and release it.
It's smart. It is smart. and you will get some kind of money. But when Winnie the Pooh officially hit public domain, though, like that's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Well, you can also watch Steamboat Willie on our Totally Toonular YouTube page.
Hey.
Yes, you can.
Because I uploaded it yesterday.
Ooh la la.
You were waiting on the countdown?
I was. Also, apparently, it's not copyrighted, and so I didn't get a strike, but what I did got was I was partially blocked in a few countries. Let me find them.
Scandalous.
I know. If I can hear his copyright. So we are blocked in Chechnya, Germany, Greece, Italy, Poland, Spain, and Switzerland. So apparently there it's not public domain.
Oh.
Wow. Germany.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Like they did some stuff too. Maybe
Switzerland?
Germany should be blocked
Yeah, I
a
was
little
like,
bit.
yeah, maybe they should just like fuck off.
Switzerland, Poland, Italy, Spain.
I mean, maybe not. Well, maybe Spain. No.
These are these are
they did
like
a whole
Nazi-
ass Inquisition. Fuck 'em.
They did.
Right?
And then also Mussolini.
Yeah,
So
these
fuck all
are
them.
all like
We don't
Nazi,
need any of those countries. I
former
don't know what
Nazi
Chechnya
countries.
did, but I bet
I can
it's
fucking
bad.
make spaghetti.
Right.
Fuck them.
But it is all like Nazi occupied countries, which is actually kind of funny now that I look at it. But
Perfect. Good.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't want to be there. Next thing you know,
Fuck
it'll
those
be.
guys.
Next thing you know, it'll be DC where we're blocked if it's all Nazi occupied places.
well, for now we're free in America, and we got copyright free out here. So you watch it on our YouTube. But yeah, like you're saying, I do like how. And that's always my favorite thing about Shrek. It's why I love Shrek. And especially Shrek 2. I love that it was kind of like a fuck you in a way to how Disney perceives these characters. And they're like, our characters are going to fart and, tell bad jokes and say bad words. And I always love that.
So, and that's the other interesting thing about Disney and like a Cinderella or like a Snow White.
Mhm.
They're taking stories that literally, like this is where Walt Disney was a genius.
Like, they were public
They didn't
domain.
have to pay
Yeah.
for those stories. They
Yeah.
didn't have
Right.
to create. They didn't have to create them. The only thing I think you really and actually, it gets questionable because of the behemoth that Disney is, but you really can't like copyright a title per se, right? So you could make another movie called Citizen Kane and there's nothing anybody can do about it. You can't really copyright a title. The idea is to want to stand out and be original in it, obviously, but there are a ton of movies like with one-word titles, and you have to find the one you're
Oh, yeah.
looking for specifically. But Walt Disney used stories that were basically already written. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, that existed. Fucking Cinderella, that existed. Winnie the Pooh, that existed. And a lot of it was already in the public domain. So,
Yeah.
didn't have to pay.
Got it.
Didn't have to pay. Done. And if people think along those lines, then
So that's
you
my
can't-
dream.
But he also,
Like, I wish
go
that
ahead.
people would like, not to say they need to make Disney movies, but I wish we do something that's not just another slasher movie. We
Right.
have these
Yeah.
properties, do something interesting and different.
well, it's like James was saying, or you were saying about Disney and taking like how DreamWorks would take these fairy tales and turn them into these vulgar characters or more real characters than Disney did. Disney took some really fucked up stories and then
Oh,
whitewashed
yeah, I
them.
did. Like Little Mermaid.
Uh-huh.
Like
And,
Little Mermaid.
yeah. So, taking those stories and making them into what they actually are, that's
Would be
Yeah.
what is it? I can't remember. Oh, this is gonna be bad. I think it's Snow White, or maybe it's There's one where no, it is because the evil stepsisters get like their eyes pecked out by birds or some shit at the end of it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like there's some aggressively rough stuff.
grotesque. Just yeah,
But
And
instead,
it's
people
like-
just want to put Mickey Mouse in a mask and have him kill a bunch of
and make him.
teenagers.
Yeah, you could do so much more cool
Yeah.
shit.
You could retell Huck Finn with Steamboat Willie, and that would be fun.
Oh my god.
Ooh, dude.
God damn.
Then, but here's the crazy thing though. Like with that, they actually tried some of that, and I don't know if it's a situation where like Disney put the kibosh on it or whatever, or if it just got buried in trades or whatever. Because what's her nuts from Twilight, Kristen Stewart. Snow White and the Huntsman.
Oh yeah, there was two of those movies.
Yep. I went to the theater to see the first one. It was a very good movie. Then there was in the, I want to say 90s. I want to say it was sometime in the 90s, greatest decade ever. There was another either Cinderella or Snow White movie, and I want to say it's Sigourney Weaver was in it.
Oh.
As like the
yeah,
evil
she was the evil
stepmother.
queen or some shit. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Good.
And
okay.
and then there was I don't think it had anything to do with it. What was the Drew Barrymore one?
Never Been Kissed.
No, the fairy tale one.
Oh,
Where she had the long dark hair.
fuck, I can't remember the name of it.
But I don't know if that was an actual fairy tale or not. I barely remember. I was
Well, there's also
stoned
that,
a lot in the
the box
90s.
art for that.
There's that Cinderella movie too with Brandy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was the one. Isn't that the Disney remake?
Is it? I don't know if Disney made it. I have no idea.
With Brandy? That's Disney?
Isn't it?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I thought the one that isn't that the one that everybody got upset about because they were like, "Why is Cinderella black?" And they did it on ABC. I thought that was like a Disney thing because isn't Jason Alexander in that one? Yeah.
Ever After is the Cinderella movie I was thinking of with Drew Barrymore.
There you go. Ever After.
There's also a Cinderella story apparently with Hilary Duff that came out in 2004, made by Warner
There's
Brothers.
also
Who did that?
Warner Brothers.
There's also Cinderella Man with what's his
That's a
nuts?
lot different story.
I'm here for
one-
that.
Oh, it is alright. The Brandy one is is a Disney movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember it's like this was the whole notion of like what is it, sort of race baiting your audience.
In the 90s, that's way ahead of its time.
Yeah. Before the hubbub over the Little Mermaid, which makes you sad about the world around us, that everybody is so upset that my Cinderella's white, my Little Mermaid is white. What's wrong with she's white with red hair?
They're not real.
They're made up.
They're not real. It's the stupidest shit ever.
They're made up. They can be played by anybody.
Anybody.
What does it matter?
Yeah, I never.
What is it?
And I think that's
doesn't.
like we can say too about Puss in Boots. I mean, this movie is extremely Latino,
Oh, can I just tell you what? Okay, throughout this movie, yeah, the way they flow in and out of Spanish to English is seamless.
Yeah.
And there are points where I was like, or those, I didn't understand that. Do I need to rewind it? But there's like inflection too,
Yeah.
where it hits and it still hits. It doesn't matter. Where I first was like, what is happening? Was that beautiful cover of The Doors, The End, right? And they're switching between Spanish and English throughout the song, and it's in the soundtrack, and it's that's right as he's going to the cat house, right?
Oh, that's when that's his funeral song.
Yeah. This is the end. And then, but drifting in and out of Spanish to English, where the rhyme scheme between the two languages is kind of matching up. Fucking stroke of genius. Like little stuff like that.
Because
like,
even the
hits for
bad
me.
guy too, like the El Lobo, all he does is speak Spanish to Puss in Boots. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it makes him more
And
terrifying.
that guy's, I think he's a Brazilian actor. I think he's a Portuguese speaker.
Ooh.
No?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Portuguese.
hasta la muerte. Like it's so good, so good. But then their adventure as they continue, because we're never gonna get there if we don't don't start.
They're great at
like,
adventure. Yeah, I mean that's great. They have to go to the dark forest, and then like immediately,
A Paretos map.
yeah, he has to hold the map. I love when they so they enter the dark forest. They go to their portal. First, Puss in Boots kicks Perito through the portal, to see if he'll survive, and then they just end up jumping
Poor
into
buddy.
it. Yeah. And then when they land, I love when they each get their own interpretation of what the map's gonna do to them, right? Like Puss in Boots does it, and it's just lava and the chamber of past lives and stuff like that. And then Salma Hayek does it, and it's green lava and all this shit. And then Proito touches it, and it's oh, you gotta go through the pocket full of posies, the river of relaxation.
So
and
good.
oh, this is gonna be such a good time. This is gonna be wow. Look at what we get to do, basically.
And they're like, you hold the map. That'd be me and Brandon.
Yeah.
Like mine would be terrible bats and Dracula's castle and all kinds of crazy stuff, and his would be Leonard Skinner concert at the end and something really cool to get like a beer tasting to get through or something.
It's sunshine and daffodils and the harshest thing you're ever gonna face is a cloud made of marshmallows or whatever. Yeah, give me
love
that
it.
map.
Well, those
And
are
I
mans
love
for-
that he knows how to navigate this territory too, because they come up on the pocket full of posies and they're all trying to fight.
Yeah, those
the-
plants are trying to eat them and stuff.
Yeah,
and, fighting them.
and Buddy's just smelling, rubbing up against him, and just being a sweet little fella, and they're hugging him in, and he's like, "No, you got to stop and smell the roses." Sweet little buddy.
And then you
So
get the
good.
Jack Horn, who's just I got this phoenix, and it's a flamethrower now, and just starts burning everything.
So
But
good.
that seems pretty brutal too, when those fucking baker's dozens literally are getting eaten,
Dude.
straight up dying. They're we're not even gonna pretend they're not dying. This guy turned to a skeleton. They're getting eaten and they're dead.
It is very brutal, and what a great name for his henchman.
The baker's
Too.
dozen. Yeah.
Baker's dozen.
Bring me the baker's dozen. And how little
I
he
love
gives a
it.
shit about them too, even. He wants to bring them on an adventure to help out, and then he doesn't give a shit. They just let them die.
He's just a narcissist fart until the end. But it's like you said, the real villains think they're in the right.
Yeah.
They truly do. And that's that's the true sign of a psychopath or a narcissist. And
That's why I
mean,
love when
he's
they give him
great.
the fucking cricket, to be his conscious, to to talk to him. And he's like, well, I got my work cut out for me here.
It's Thanos stuff, right? He thought half the people should die because city planning or whatever.
This guy feels a lot worse than Thanos, especially later when the cricket is on his shoulder and he's talking about his wish, and he's literally being all I ever wanted in life, he's what was it like growing up? And he was yeah, it was pretty bad. I had a great parents, mansion, a stability and a bakery fortune I took over, but still empty inside. I just want all the wishes. I want everything. And then he was like, God damn, you are evil. When he does that whole speech, it was you are an evil person. There's literally nothing fixing you. But just the delivery in that speech was so earnest,
yeah.
When he was because I took big note of that too. It's oh, I've had everything you could possibly ever want handed to me, and it's just never been enough.
Yeah.
It's just never been enough. I want it all.
While his baker's dozens are also dying off the cliff at the same time.
Oh my God. Violet turns violet. What's her Veruca Salt in Willy Wonka, right? When she sings the "I Want It Now" song.
yeah.
That's Veruca,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's
Falls
Jack
to the
Horner.
goose way
She just
machine.
dies.
Bad egg or whatever.
Yeah, she was a bad
Dude
egg.
So
flicks
good.
over to bad egg and she pew. But I mean that's Jack Warner in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Yeah.
Literally. That's
Yeah.
why it's like what I liked about how they played it was like he could have been more like the chick from Wonka, but he took that idea and then made himself into the hero of the story, where it comes out more earnest and less like kind of snotty or like a rich kid like kind of complaining, you know? And I just love
True.
that. And it makes him feel more evil to me, where like especially when we get to that moment where the cricket decides that I can't help you. That's when he's like, that's when you're like, this guy is just pure evil. There's just like nothing redeeming about this guy in the slightest. He doesn't care about nobody but himself. I mean, he was shooting his own men with the fucking unicorn horns.
Yeah.
Even the one guy
Yeah.
who actually catches Puss in Boots and then shoots him with the unicorn horn. He's like, I got him. And then he's like, oops, sorry. And they explode.
And that like, dude, the way they tap into everything fantasy, right? Like the unicorn horn being this weapon, WMD, right? Like all of that stuff it's just exceptional. I thought this whole thing was really well written, really well like put together.
And it's
just from
crazy.
start
Like
to
it
finish.
really shouldn't have. Like
No,
you know,
it
this-
shouldn't. It is no business being this
This
good.
should just be another cash grab spin-off movie because DreamWorks doesn't have anything to put out. But fuck, man. Whoever made this movie, I think the director's name is Joel something. Whatever his name is. Shout out to that guy.
I think he was the guy that did the Neanderthal DreamWorks movie.
The Neanderthal DreamWorks movie? Not
The
even-
Croods?
Oh, The Croods.
Yeah.
I never watched that movie either.
I
haven't
didn't
seen it
either.
You know, I think in hindsight, I really don't like a lot of DreamWorks movies either.
I haven't seen a lot of them because a lot of the notion doesn't necessarily appeal to me. DreamWorks did Ice Age, right?
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
I like Ice Age. I like the first one. I haven't seen any
Like
of
there's
the
20
sequels.
other sequels.
Yeah, I don't
Do you
need
think
that.
maybe that, like, on top of it, trying so hard with the humor to push the adult envelope, there's so many fucking DreamWorks sequels that it
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
it just unbearable.
It
Like,
becomes
it's hard to swallow.
And I said it last week. Like, I want to love Kung Fu Panda. Like, it has everything that I would love in it. Between Jackie Chan, Jack Black, it's a kung fu movie. It's
Right.
still
Kung
funny.
Fu's, pandas.
it should be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just cannot. I don't know. I can never get into it. And I've seen the first
Me
one. I guess
neither.
I do kind of like the first one, but I've never wanted to watch any of the other ones ever. Now is the fourth one coming out.
Yeah. And I followed Jack Black on Instagram, and he just announced another actor that's going to be a character in the new Kung Fu Panda. And I'm like, why do we need another one? Give me more D or something, you know? Like, I don't need Kung Fu Panda. I need Tenacious D. I need
Yeah.
Jack Black and like
Oh,
Anything
Real-
else?
in real time. Anything other than Kung Fu Panda.
But I do love
I do
Shrek.
miss young Jack Black like a lot. You know what I mean?
Like Mars Attacks, Jack Black. Yeah.
Like
You ever seen the
like
movie Saving Silverman?
Coming
oh,
at, yeah.
That's a good Jack
That's
Black
one of the
movie.
best movies ever.
Yeah.
Saving Silverman is amazing. Saving Silverman's amazing.
He
Do you
falls
know-
in love
do you
with his
guys
like old gym
remember-
coach.
Do you guys remember that episode of the X Files with Jack Black and Giovanni Ribisi?
Yes.
where he dies very early in that playing video games, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I miss a young Jack Black, but whatever. He's exceptional. He's
Hey, I mean,
exceptional.
as much as I'll shit on that Mario movie, he was the only one in that movie that tried. Like, he's the only one that was
Agreed.
remotely believable of like pretending to be a character in that movie.
And
He
he can
was
make as
very
many
good
Kung
at
Fu Pandas as he wants to. I'm not going to see him, but I hope they bring him lots of money.
Lots of money.
He's still Jack Black,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hopefully it's because of that he can get out on fucking tour
Yeah,
with Tenacious
yeah,
D.
more Tenacious D because he's got more money.
Getting to see them live with Brandon and my kids
Oh.
was just life changing.
I've
Oh.
never seen them live.
Wonderful
I'd love to
night.
see them live. That sounds awesome.
I can, yeah. I still have not seen them live, which.
Oh my God.
But we did see. Me and Jen saw a train wreck. You know Lee, the song the song about Lee.
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 Lee, Kyle, and then a couple other guys from Tenacious D were going out for a few years as Trainwreck and absolutely killed. Saw them live in Portland when we lived there, and it was
That's
exceptional.
awesome.
Great.
A good time.
Yeah.
Really
So
small
our-
venue. Yeah, good time.
We did it. We went through a drive through wedding. And we just took the kids with us and went up, and it was great. And the guy that did it was in East Nashville. Turns out he was the music producer for Mark of Cain, and he was like, "You know who this band is?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm a Henry Rollins fan, and of course I know who Mark of Cain is." And like he was Australian. He was awesome. But on the way there, just for some reason, I guess just because we both love that album, we had on "Fuck Her Gently," and that's our official wedding song.
That's your official wedding song.
Yeah, that's what was playing when he came out to the car and filled out the paperwork and took our picture.
Wow.
That's crazy. Oh wait, there was something else that happened between now and the last time we recorded, and your wedding story just hit me. It reminded me of this. The craziest thing to happen to us in the last week before New Year's. So my dad is notarized because he does some financial stuff, loan stuff, whatever for people. And a lot of times folks will need a notary, and it's just service he provides. Doesn't charge anything for it, right? Lady calls him up. We're at the jail. We're doing a bond. And I hear my dad go, "I will not marry your daughter." He's 81 years old. This lady is in like she's maybe my age, maybe a little bit older. And her daughter's like barely 20-ish, okay? So my dad, "I will not marry your daughter. What are you talking about?" "Joe, no. I mean, she's getting married to someone and we need to do the wedding like pronto. Can you do it?" He's like, I'm not, no, I can't do that. Turns out this chick has gone through. She's done her research. He sure as shit can do that. It is legal in the state of Tennessee for a notary as long as it is a civil ceremony and not a religious service.
Wow.
To now do the paperwork. Do you? There's literally like 3 questions
So your
you have
dad
to
can
ask.
marry people.
That's it. They're online. And then so anyway,
That's got to be the coolest job though ever.
it was insane is what it was. We come back from the jail and this lady comes like ripping up with her daughter and the kid her daughter's going to marry in tow. And and the girl was like a young girl, man. Like she's like I say barely 20. And they go through everything. And then I hear them talking, and they've been coming to my dad for years to cash their checks. And the girl says, "Well, Mr. Joe cashed my first check when I got my first job. He cashed my first check for me." And Pops was beaming, like ear to ear. I'm sitting there just like jaw on the floor. Like, I don't know if this paperwork's going to hold up. I'm like half-ass on my phone trying to figure out if this really is legal, if this lady's just feeding us lines, like whatever. Very much legal, very sweet. And then now my dad says he's going to put up the arches in the back.
Oh, so people could just come and get married.
So he
Wow.
can have his wedding corner. And then I told him, well, tell him for like $30, and a little bit of notice, I'll come in and take pictures. Like, it'll be great. Just tell him.
Have a little ceremony. Just a bunch of dudes in their tuxedo t-shirts.
That's what I should get him. Fuck, James, you're right. I should get him a tuxedo t-shirt so he can go in the back, put it on, and then he can come out and do his marriage stuff.
Bless it.
And speaking of marriage, okay, great, wonderful tie-in as we've been doing this almost 2 fucking hours. The soft paws and what's his name left her at the altar.
What a bastard.
Oh,
yeah. What a chicken shit little fart head.
But we find out that Soft Paws also never showed up.
Also didn't show.
But I love her explanation because she was like, I can't compete with your one true love. And he was like, who? And she's like, yourself.
Yourself.
And that's just like, the whole theme of the whole movie, it's him getting over his own self to not be as like lonely and to like realize that there's other things around him, I mean, he was like, there's a lot of great parallels between him and Jack Horn in the movie.
There are.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely there are. And then once he realizes that it really is about death of self, and he gives in and he allows others to help him. This is, again, it's the same thing. Fuck, what was it? We talked about something recently where it was like only in that moment when he realizes that, no, I can't do it alone, is when he actually wins. You know what I mean? Is when it really turns over. And that's like, it's a wonderful message.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's literally how he beats death, like straight up.
You can't be this island of self throughout this whole thing. And I think that's also why Perito works as good as he does, because all he's ever wanted is friends. And no matter where he is, either he's convinced himself that he's found them or he actually has found them, right?
Yeah.
Happy as a pig and shit. Doesn't matter where we're at, what we're doing. I got friends. Do you? Do you really? And like it, most of these moments leading up to, he believes it though, and that's the thing. And he cares more about others than self, and that's why he works.
Because especially that scene where when he grabs the map and they put him in like the chamber of his lost souls or whatever it was called, like such a good scene where he sees all his past lives, and they're all like kind of calling him a bitch. They're like, "What's wrong with you? like, what are you doing? You thought you were fearless, or whatever." And then Death comes in, and then that's when we learn that he actually literally is Death and not a bounty hunter, and he's just smashing all the fucking the past lives in those stone or whatever. My favorite smash, because I didn't realize his like scythes whatever can do this. He like folds over one of the scythes and then just kind of like punches the glass, and it just fucking explodes. Oh,
shatters.
Yeah,
shatters. Sick. It gets heavy. But didn't that also sort of remind you of like what is it? Either Luke or no, it's Rey, right? When she goes into that like Hall of Mirrors or whatever.
In Last Jedi, you're not wrong, but this is better.
I strongly agree. Puss in Boots' Last Wish is far superior.
Last Wish over Last Jedi. Though I like the Last Jedi. I'm not going to
say which one did it better. I said, didn't it remind you of? And instantly you're just like, I didn't like it. Oh, maybe a little bit.
Don't get me on a tirade.
Yeah, we won't talk about The Last Jedi because we're 2 hours into the show. But yeah, it was very similar. But I love that when Death comes in and just like really goes into his face about like why I'm here. You're a piece of shit. You've been avoiding me all these times. He has all the markings on his like fucking weapon of all his lives, like waiting for this moment.
Of every time that Puss has eluded him in those 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get to the big star. I mean, we also didn't talk a lot about Goldie too, where it's like she has her whole arc of like she wants a real family, and the bears are like, I thought we were your family, and then they still decide to help her, even when they find out she wants to leave the family, which is amazing.
And then she realizes they're her family after all.
He's like, you're the smash, I'm the grab, and then like pulls him out of the portal, or whatever it is.
So sweet, isn't it?
And then they all come together to fight Jack Horn. Like, I mean, first of all, I want to talk about the last fight between Puss and the El Lobo, because that shit's just intense. Like, Puss finally gets all that confidence back when he realizes it's not about stealth, and then just like kicks his ass. And that's when he kicks the thing back to him, like he did in the beginning of. Yeah.
Pick it up.
And then his I love that the Lobo's character then just completely changes. He's just like, what? Like he starts getting whiny about it. He's like, God damn it! Like I thought I was here to go fight some narcissistic, baby. And then
Yeah. I'll see you again. Hasta la muerte.
yeah. But then they, I love they throw Jack Warren into the magic bag, and you think he's gone. But then he eats the cupcake that makes him even bigger Jack Warren. And then my favorite kind of visual action sequence in this was when they all team up, the Bears, Puss in Boots, and Salma Hayek. And then even the Perrito who tries to do the face or whatever, and gets a bloody nose from it, the cute face. They Florence Pugh's character Goldilocks. She throws both of them, Salma Hayek and Puss in Boots, and then Jack Horn tries to catch them, and they fly straight through his fingers. Do you know what I'm talking about? And they just fly straight up in the air, and then they both do the Spanish splinter together. It's so cool. It was such an epic visual.
That's where this movie hits, bro. It really hits in the visuals. It hits on a point to where the things he could do on his own are magnificent, but the things that he can do with others are exceptional. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. I dig it. And you talk about full circle. It ends as it began.
Yeah. Now they're going. Yeah. They steal the boat from the governor.
Right. We're introduced to the very first person that we saw. He's still tormenting that poor governor.
Also, and nobody got the wish. Nobody got it.
Which means what? There's a wish hanging out there, right? It's not the last wish. Or maybe it's still the last wish.
Well, I assume it got
but
destroyed.
But they kind of got their wish in a way, though, too. Everybody's they're together and they're,
Burrito
on
got
their
his
way,
name.
and Burrito's still with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got his friends.
Soft Paws can trust somebody, and Puss in Boots got rid of all his anxiety.
There you go.
So,
yeah, and then the Bears got the family. They got to be a family.
They didn't need magic after all.
So I guess the idea about getting your wish is working for it and realizing that it's already been answered.
And then, when I first watched it, because I actually didn't see this scene at the boat when I first watched it. I guess I missed it when I saw it in theaters. Because in my head, I was always like, man, he's talking about being not alone and stuff. Whatever happened to all this Shrek and Donkey stuff? I mean, they went through 3 movies together. There's a lot of adventure. I'm surprised he's alone. But then they do that bit at the end where they're on the boat and they're going far, far away. And they're playing kind of Shrek theme song. It's that really does tie it all back together. Because now he wants to go see his other old friends that he felt like he has left behind and wants to share his friendship with these people.
Well, and even in his flashbacks, I mean, that's only one of his lives.
Yeah.
So what they don't really dip into is necessarily what happens, how long each of those lives are, what he carries and remembers from each one necessarily. They don't really touch on a lot of that stuff. So the Shrek and Donkey thing, there is a flashback where you see him with them.
They do the Lion King thing where they're that Lion King shot when they're walking
Timon
across.
And Pumbaa shot. Yeah. So you do see some of that, but it doesn't dip into what he knows, what he can recall, or if it's just those weird little vignettes or whatever. But as he's heading to Far, Far and Away, does that bring us to Shrek? Is it 5 now?
It would be. I mean, I don't think there is any Shrek 5 in the works as far as I know. Though I'd watch it. But eventually they do a Shrek like this could be really sick. Babette says so many unanswered questions. Ooh. But yeah, well,
Babs, it's nice to see you.
We love you, Babs. All right, but let's close out the show, man. Let me pull up this rating system, which I didn't pull up before. But Ben, what are your final thoughts? What do you got for us? What are you going to give this show?
No, we've been saying it literally 2 hours. It should not be as good as it is, but it actually earns it. That's the other thing. It's not just a thing that you jump out of the gate and you're like, love it. It earns it. It really does.
That's how I feel about Cobra Kai.
Right? Cobra Kai earns it. It has no business to be that good, but it fucking brings you in. Same with this. Great story, amazing production value, design is awesome, very much a success.
That was a little low. I'll play it again.
Success.
All right, Liz, what about you? What are you going to give this show? As a person, you say you don't like DreamWorks or Shrek.
Right. And I don't still, but this is definitely a success. And a success enough for me to see it once and go back and take the other kids to see it again. That's how much I enjoyed it.
So would you watch another sequel, though, if it's like this?
If these same characters are involved and Harvey Guillen is involved as Perrito, yes, most definitely. I will follow Perrito to the ends of the earth.
Oh,
Success.
Well, I'm going to give it, if I can find it somewhere. There it is.
I really enjoy coming.
Because, man, this movie hit me totally left field, kind of like Father of the Bride, where I said, like, when this movie was coming out, I had no interest. I was like, I think I even said it to somebody, where I was like, there's not a movie I want to see less than this movie. But, like, when I saw the reviews were amazing, and then then it had a higher review than Avatar 2, which is, like, one of the biggest budgeted, movies of the time. And I was like, there's got to be something with this movie. Fine. Like, I'll go check it out. And, man, yeah, totally blew me away. Animation's amazing. Do you know, because I found this out, too, listening to an interview with the director, there are hidden paws, like cat paws, also in this movie everywhere.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have to find them, but there's he says there's over 500 hidden cat paws everywhere.
Wow.
He paused on one scene that had one in the paw, like in the explosion, like it's in the fire. There's the smoke makes like a cat paw. So there's cat paws everywhere.
So that just makes me want to take the ranking as like off the charts.
Yeah.
that is too much, bro. That is too, 500 additional cat paws I gotta find now.
And now we've got to do it. Like, we have to. We
Yeah,
have to rewatch
find
for the
all
cat paws.
500 of them. And especially said, I love the bad guy. Both Jack Horn and the Death are both just perfect kind of villains in every way. And Death was just so intimidating when he puts the coins on his eyes and then points at Puss in Boots as they're going away. That shit is just epic and terrifying. You're like, this is literally death is coming for you completely, Then so the action hits, the voice acting hits. I love this movie. I shouldn't love it as much, and I fucking love every minute of it. And I'm so glad people finally watching it. It's on Netflix because I also feel like it's not talked about enough.
No.
And it fucking kicks ass. Love it.
Well, James, since you really enjoyed coming, and we really do have to split, what are we watching for next week?
So next week, I'm pulling something from my childhood. You guys may have a relationship with it. I really don't know, but I kind of saw the movie on Netflix. I was like, oh, I wonder if the show is streaming somewhere, and it is. It's on Paramount. I really want to talk Invader Zim.
Oh.
So have you guys watched it or anything? Or do you guys...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of Goth Girl 101.
Yeah, I used to get a lot of when I was at the mall. I used to get a lot of goth girls because I had Gur gauges, and let me tell you, ladies love the Gur gauges.
The ladies loved the Gur gauges.
I was the coolest guy in the mall that day.
So I know a little bit about it. It's actually a thing that I've not seen that much of. But it aired on Nick from 2001 to 2002, it looks like.
And I'm gonna look it up exactly, but I know there's a story of why it got canceled. I think something with the last episode was too fucked up or something like that for Nickelodeon.
Didn't a kid either killed himself? There was something fucked up with it, and then it got controversial and it got pulled off. I've seen it in a bunch of internet listicles about.
I don't remember the full story,
cartoons.
but we'll find out next week for it. So we got a whole show about it. So Invader's in, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, the first show
Yay.
of 2024. We're in it.
No, that was this one, Hoss.
That's what I said. First show of 24. This one.
Oh, I thought you meant Invader Zim. See,
No.
this is how good it's going to be this year. I can't. I don't listen when people speak.
I think my ADHD is worn off on you.
Something. No. We're already doing one. We're doing it now. This is the first one. I got it. I'm good.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Let's end the show, man. You said hopefully within the next year, our YouTube will start to look different. Looks like Zoom's working out great. So let's keep making this an up. You know, we finally figure out how to stream after a year. You know, now let's figure out how to run a podcast, you know.
Yes. This is a year of constant growth. And on that note, if you need to get in touch with us right before James turns us off, you can email us at totally.toonular@gmail.com. Any questions, comments, otherwise, whatever. Even if you want to tell me to go fuck myself, just say it there and I'll read it.
Read it live.
We'll read it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
All right. Peace out, people. Wow.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman. Well, don't do it, Cartman. Well, I'm warning you. Okay.
Hello, peasants. Want to kill all humans?
Work there, dude. We'd like some money. Yeah, money. Money is cool. We got whores in the city. We need backup now. Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a